Welcome into Austin, Texas, where the #2 team in the nation, the Longhorns, will take on a familiar foe in the Baylor Bears right here from McCombs Field. Alongside Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. Welcome in, everybody. This is a battle between two teams that used to square off in the Big 12. Texas now, of course, in the SEC. You mentioned Kat lost Crandall and Binford. And trying to retool this here. Kavan with the 2-2 swing and a miss, and she starts off the night with a strikeout.
And against Stanford, Tegan came in, kept it quiet for a little bit, but Stanford offensively looks really good this year as well.
A walk issued to Pylon. As ever seen, last year walked 48 times. The most in a single season in Baylor history. Swings through that. Pylon is going, and she's safe. Presley.
Pylon takes off. This is a changeup, so it does give her an extra step. Great throw by Reese Atwood, but
that one backhanded by Good. Bounces over to first for the second out of the inning. Leanne Good, the everyday short.
To handle Coleman.
16 home runs in 2 years at Houston, but behind in the count here, 1-2 with 2 away, and watches that one cross the plate for strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for.
Get on time with a certain pitcher, and
there is a foul ball. And you could see Maloney racing around the bases, expending a lot of energy.
A little ahead of it, just tapped it into play, but right at Taria Coleman.
Well, here comes Caden Henry, the sophomore, who gets hit immediately, and that is the last player an opposing team wants to put on the base. See what Scott does here with a couple of strikes in the count. She takes one to left field. That one made on the run by Dawson, falling to the ground. A nice grab by the freshman Ada Beaumont.
Are working around her, not trying to be predictable, and that's been a big difference.
Henry now 15 for 15 in stolen bases on the year.
So you're not getting the pitcher look. Atwood is just the maturity to be able to get on base and do more things.
However, Baylor will strand one Texas runner at second. We've completed one here in Austin, scoreless.
Right, it's almost like trying to go who wins this year, and as we've said, Baylor has brought it the last couple years against Texas.
Dawson chops one over to Scott, one away. Yeah, Mike. 63 strikeouts on the young season. Make it 64. Future, he wants her to be able to throw to start 2 times a weekend. Good backing up and makes the grab. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Kavan and the Texas defense. We'll see what
this to hit the other way.
Another walk earned by Katie Stewart, her 13th of the season. Leadoff hitter aboard.
Talk about with her was setting the tone early against these hitters and not wasting pitches.
That one gets away from the catcher Flores, and Stewart will scoot over into scoring position. 15 in the country in walks with 17. And that one gets past Flores, and Stewart just rounding the bases now over at third. Remember, Texas still doesn't have this lineup. She can be a devastating hitter. That is already her 18th walk of the year. Texas in business with runners on the corners and no outs. Had that phenomenal freshman campaign a couple of seasons ago. She was a finalist for National Freshman of the Year. Runner on first. Mitchell takes second. Now 2 in scoring position. And that pitch missed as well.
Not controlling the strike zone as well. 3 straight walks, 3 straight hitters started off with a ball. 3 of 4.
In a span of 4 games. Chops one over to second, scooped up. The toss to second. They get one, but Texas is on the board as Katie Stewart comes home.
This just a chopper up the middle, and actually really good communication by Baylor, because that's not a tough play, or that is a tough play, excuse me, to toss behind you to get the out. But that ground ball enough to score Katie Stewart.
Former for Abilene Christian, and she hit .425. Swinging away at the first pitch, the toss to second for one, over to first in time. How about that? Baylor, who saw the bases loaded with no outs, limits Texas to 1 run here in the second inning, but the Longhorns at least break through for that one, and they hold a 1-0 lead after 2 here in Austin. Just a little.
Ignited that rivalry with a big boom.
As it should be, as Kavan fields that one from Wackendorf. Should this year 0-7 against teams in the top 25. Chasing that one up high was Carter. 4 strikeouts on the night for Kavan. Another one here.
I would. If they've shown you they're liable to swing and miss, I would go there again.
Strikeout number 5. You called it. Well, always produces, and that's why she's at the top. Check swing over to short, but they do manage to retire her for the second time tonight.
Well, if there's one place to not hit the ball, it is the middle inning.
Chemistry at short and second defensively for that group. Meanwhile, here's Caden Henry, who was hit in the first inning. Lays down the bunt. That speed beats it out just barely, but she's safe. Right tonight, as Henry is safe over at first. Here's Mia Scott taking one to center field, and Texas with 2 aboard. Run away from tying Mary Iacopo for 3rd all-time in Texas history. Chops one over to short, scooped up onto second. And another double play to end the inning for this Baylor defense, getting it done again.
Well, this a changeup that got. I don't know that she's thrown it again since then.
Had 135 strikeouts last year. This one bounces over to good. And both middle infields taking care of business so far tonight. Who graduated after last year, one of their best hitters. But yet to break through tonight, K number 6 for Kavan. Played a couple of seasons there. All-conference performer. Great bat, drops down the bunt. Scott fires it over, throws it away. Coleman will head to second, and Taria Coleman slides in there, and that one gets thrown away, but Coleman will remain over at second with 2 away. Second walk of the night issued now by Tegan Kavan. And the 1-0 count to Abby Flores. Back up the middle. The toss over to second for the final out of the frame by Bennett to good. And the Bears strand 2. Still a 1-run game here in the 4th. Plays by Glenmore's defense. He did tell us this week this is the best defense he's ever seen. And how about the pitching to boot right there? Sadie Ross with the strikeout.
The competitive streak is a fierce one.
Somebody you want in the foxhole with you. You can see by that intense stare. And her patience, meanwhile, pays off. Her second walk of the night. Among the league leaders to the national. Those poor souls. I would hate to see what would have happened.
I'm pretty sure my catcher would have been on their back, so they wouldn't have got
Megan
very
Willis.
far. Yeah.
That one gets away from Flores. That's the 3rd time tonight we've seen.
Pitch up in the zone, and we haven't seen a lot of rise balls called for Sadie Ross, so it has to believe.
Leanne Good gives one a ride to deep center, and she has left the yard. The junior makes it a 3-0 Longhorns lead. comes through big time with a runner on. And get another look at good swing.
Well, on that pitch, not as high in the zone as Coach Moore was talking about earlier in his interview, but not knee height either. And Leanne Good just goes with that right up the middle. Great piece of hitting on an outside pitch.
Swing and a miss, fooled her badly.
Well, Lily Walker did a great job nibbling around.
Offensively, Bennett chops one over to third. Charging in is Coleman, and that one a little off the mark, and unable to handle it was Govan. Runner on with 2 away. This year. Runner is going to throw to second. That one bounces into right center. Take 2, Katie Bennett.
Well, speed will put pressure on your defense. Katie Bennett, great jump. Waddle throw is wide, and Tovin just cannot snag that one without getting in the baseline.
Scathed. That one snared by Coleman over at third. She was playing in and caught the hot shot. But Leanne Good breaking through for the
Astronomical number of home runs, but just really has made herself known in Gainesville and throughout the country.
Bennett gobbles that one up, first out of the inning.
Alex, you mentioned Texas going to Ohio. So we're behind, so we got to play catch up.
One snared by Scott over at third. Which SEC enter the booth? That one just missed us. 2-2 on the way to Wackendorf. Kavon has to hurry the throw in time. 1-2-3 inning yet again.
Earlier this year, because her shoulder popped out a socket on a diving play.
Chased it. And Lily Walker looking pretty good coming out of the pen. Has faced 4 back. Chops one over to second. The quick toss to first in time. A nice play by Pylon. So here comes Reese Atwood on the season. Awaits the 3-1. There's number 15.
Allowing her on base percentage to be higher.
There's the sophomore, Katie Stewart. That one hauled in by Govan. The defense tonight for both teams, for the most part, has been terrific. 3-0 after 5. Cran has now struck out 3 times.
Oh, and on 3 different pitches.
Has outdueled Kennedy in 3 head-to-head battles going back to the postseason last year. And that's just not a coincidence. And now racks up strikeout number 8 tonight. The Kavon effect. Is this fan base confident to say the least? Atwood picks it up, throws to first, and Kavon strikes out the side.
Well, Kavon using change as well. They've been in the conversation preseason number 1.
Mitchell takes one to left. That's going to drop in for a fair ball. Jolie Mitchell with a leadoff double here in the 6th. And again, a bunch of redshirt seasons, which has given her a 7th year here. Scoops that one up onto first for out number 1 here in the 6th. Takes the first pitch to right. Making the grab is Wackendorf, but tagging and scoring is Jolie Mitchell. 4-0 Longhorns.
Brister does her job. First pitch, barrels it up. A nice shot to right field. Almost looks like Wackendorf forgot that there was a runner on third. Wasn't ready to throw home. Jolie Mitchell, I think, would have scored easily either way. Tip your hat. Lynn Brister coming in.
For Katie Bennett, she has a single and hit into a double play. She swings at the first pitch as well, and she is retired, but Texas tacks on another. They extend their lead. And now the Longhorns have the Bears down to their final 3 outs. Would have just been too high.
Well, you know, being right-handed gives her more options on what she can play in the field.
There you go. Good perspective as we begin the 7th inning. Swinging away Coleman. And the Bears down to their last 2 outs. They have just been unable to solve Tegan Cavan.
Forward in her sophomore year.
And after all that praise we heaped upon her, what happens?
It's all right. It happens. You know, Tegan Cavan's doing a good job of staying on the corners. Hasn't missed over the wide of the plate tonight.
Gets Avery Waddell, the pinch hitter, double-digit strike. Try it again, 2-2. Got her. Strikeout number 11 ends the ball game in a 4-0 Texas win.
Well, Tegan Cavan was masterful from the first at-bat to the last. And what do you say? The first strikeout of the game was on a changeup, and so was the last one. But Tegan Cavan set the tone early and kept the pressure on Baylor, allowing her offense some time to score some runs.
I said it coming into tonight. Texas, which is now 21-1 on the year, they have just cruised through most of this first month plus of the season. What do you make of the way this team looks so far?